guys, so this week we're going to be taking a look at the Brevite Roamer. And so a while back we took a look at the Wandered Provoke 21 liter version, and that was a really great camera bag, and during that video somebody commented asking how that bag compared to the Brevite Roamer. And at the time I actually wasn't familiar with Brevite at all. But I really take your guys' suggestions to heart, and so I was really excited to research the company, and after looking through their site, I was actually really intrigued with how good the bag looked, so I reached out and asked if the company had any review units I'd be able to take a look at, and they were kind enough to send over a Roamer for me to test out, and so I've been using this as my daily bag for the past couple of weeks, and overall I have to say I've been really impressed. The bag has some really great features, and so with a lot of the bags that we've looked at in the past that have been kind of camera slash daily bags, they've all definitely leaned a little bit more towards the camera bag side. So they have been designed, in my opinion, with more of a focus towards kind of professional photographers that have a lot of camera gear, that need to be able to get to the gear quickly, and it has a lot of kind of small slots and pockets designed specifically to hold things like memory cards and batteries. So I typically look at them as a camera slash daily bag. So camera bags that also happen to work well as a daily bag. What I like about the Roamer is that for somebody like me who's not quite as hardcore of a photographer, I don't have as much gear, this bag seems to be a little bit more of a daily bag that also happens to work well as a camera bag. So it has features that are going to be good for both, but I feel like it leans almost a little bit more towards the daily bag side, which I did like. But lots of great features overall. We'll be talking about how this compares to the bags that I just mentioned, and just going deep into all the different features that the bag has to offer. So I want to go ahead and thank the company again for sending the bag for me to test out, and I'm really excited to share it with you guys. So let's just dive in and take a closer look at the Brevite Roamer. So starting with the outside of the bag, I really like the overall aesthetic that the Roamer has going for it. It has a very kind of traditional outdoorsy look that reminded me a lot of the Burton Tinder Pack, which we looked at a little while back. I really like this look. It works great as a daily bag. So that's one of my favorite things just starting off about the bag, is the fact that it looks a little bit more like a daily bag and not like a camera bag. So one of the biggest omissions you'll see as we go through the video is that there's no side access compartment to grab your camera, which is to me one of the biggest indicators of a bag that's really focused at photography, is having that side access. So this bag doesn't have that, but for me that's not that big of a deal, as I typically don't need to grab my camera that quickly, and I do like that the bag just kind of focuses on being a really solid daily bag option that happens to also have some camera features. So really nice look overall. The bag has a 22 liter capacity, which is deceptively big. The bag, when I'm wearing it, doesn't feel that big, and as you can see now, it's kind of compressed down because I don't have it filled out. Currently what I have in here is the items that I typically have on my day-to-day, so the same items you've seen in all my other daily bag videos. And so that doesn't really fill the bag up completely, but it's nice to see that there is a good amount of expansion available with this opening here. So we'll take a closer look at that a little bit later, but just love a lot of the versatility and the overall style that the bag has. The material that the bag is made out of is a really nice, durable feeling TPU coated nylon, which is very lightweight. That's one of the biggest benefits of the bag. When the bag gets empty, it weighs around 2 pounds, but it just feels very, very light. On top of the lightweight nature of the materials, it's really nice that because of the TPU coating that it has, it really feels like it's going to be very, very water resistant and help keep water out. The bag has really nice YKK zippers all around with a really nice water guard, so it really feels like all around any camera gear, any delicate items that you place in the bag, they're going to be very well protected. One note about the outer materials is that it does have a little bit of a probability of scratching. So as you can see here, I have some markings. That's just for my day-to-day use. Nothing serious. The bag hasn't torn or anything like that, and probably with a little bit of cleaning it might come off, but just something worth noting. So continuing on with the outside of the bag, I just really love the number of options that it gives you for carrying and organizing your stuff, even on the outside. So as you can see, the bag has compression straps on both sides of the bag that are going to be great for strapping in something like a tripod or a sweater or even something like an umbrella. And then it also has 2 water bottle compartments on the sides, which offer a good amount of space. Currently what I have in here is the same water bottle that I've used in all my other daily bag videos. So as you can see, it goes in there very comfortably. It fits very easily. The water bottle compartments have a nice amount of elasticity, so if you have something a little bit wider or a bigger water bottle, it should be able to fit in there pretty comfortably. And it's really nice that they have the water bottle compartments on both sides so that you don't have to make a choice between carrying a water bottle or something like a tripod. So here what I have is one of the new tripods that I've been testing out. It's one of these fancy bendy type things, so I really like carrying that with me nowadays, and that fits in here very comfortably. As an added bonus, on the bottom, the bag has these 2 straps that you can use for attaching an additional tripod or a sweater, a yoga mat, a sleeping bag or something like that. They come off very easily. They have these really nice clips that just loop around these nylon loops here. So very easy to attach. And as you can see, they're fairly long. So you can probably use this for even something like a penny board if you wanted to wrap this around and be able to strap here to the bottom. So moving on to the straps and the back paneling, I really like the materials that were used here. As you can see, they're fairly thick. I really like how soft they are right out of the box, so very comfortable just to start wearing the bag right away. The straps have a really nice kind of meshy material that's going to be good at absorbing moisture. And so one thing that I did notice about the straps is that they're not quite as wide as I would typically want to see, especially with a bag like this where I could see myself putting in a ton of different things. The straps were a little bit narrow, so I felt like when I loaded it up with a lot of stuff, it started to dig in just a little bit into my shoulders. But if you're not wearing the bag with that much weight, it shouldn't be a big deal. On top of that, the bag doesn't have a sternum strap, which might have been a nice addition to help distribute some of that weight, especially with the narrower straps. But overall, the straps have still been comfortable. And then as far as the back panel, it has the same great meshy material that we saw on the strap. So this does a really great job of absorbing moisture. And then on top of that, it's just really soft and comfortable. As you can see, the padding is pretty thick. They have some good air channels here to help keep that airflow moving, so that if you're wearing this with a lot of weight, it does help prevent moisture from building up. And so moving down to the bottom here, there was no waist strap included with the bag, which might have been nice, especially as you load this bag out with a lot of camera gear. I personally don't use them on bags this size typically, but I did see that there's some loops here on the bottom of the bag that may be useful for attaching some sort of a waist strap. And so moving on to some of the pockets and organization that the bag has, I thought this was an area where it really shined. There's a lot of different places where you can organize your stuff, which I like to see. Starting off here at the top, there's just a quick access compartment. I love when bags have this easy area to just reach down and grab whatever you need to get to quickly. The compartment here has a really tightly sealed zipper, so it really feels like it's going to help keep whatever you have in here away from the rain. So just a really versatile compartment, offers a good amount of space. I thought it would be a little bit slimmer just based off its placement, but I was impressed with how much I was actually able to fit in here. So as you can see, there's even some leftover space. Currently what I have in here is my Ray-Ban sunglasses with their case. Then I also have my UTech wireless charger for my phone. And then I also have just a spare lightning cable as well. And so as you saw, that all fit in there very comfortably. There was even a little bit of leftover space. So this is just a really simple compartment, no internal organization. It doesn't have any sort of felt lining on the inside, but just a great simple pocket for you to be able to reach down and grab whatever you need quickly. Next up on the front, the bag has one kind of main organizational area for your smaller accessories. And so in order to get to that compartment, you have to loosen this buckle here. And so I really like the use of these Fidlock buckles. I've seen these on a couple of bags now, and I really love how easy they are to use. You can just slide it over to release it, and then it has a magnet that allows it to hook on very quickly. So really, really nice and easy to access. I love that it just has one buckle as opposed to the two on something like the Boundary Supply Prima system. I also really like the ability to expand the bag. So as you can see, there's a lot of leftover strap here. So this is a nice sturdy strap, but as you can see, the bag comes out a good amount. So you really have a lot of space to play with once you get into the main compartment. Before we get into that, as you can see, I'll release it really easily, and we can get into this main organizational area here on the front, which opens up nice and wide. Again, continuing on with the quality and weather resistance offered by the bag, another nice well-sealed YKK zipper here with a nice wide opening so that you can easily see everything that's in the compartment. It opens flat if you want it to. And so the first thing you see here that I have is my GoRuck wire dock, which has all my adapters and cables, chargers, things that I don't want floating around. I really like carrying this with me. And so continuing on with the rest of the compartment, lots of different kind of organizational areas here for those smaller items that you have and you don't want floating around in the main compartment. So starting off with the front, there's a few slip pockets. So in one of them I have my BluePop portable Bluetooth speaker and power bank, and that fits in there very easily. As you can see, there's even some leftover space. And then there's a few slots for pens or a stylus, so I just have one in here. And then there's a smaller slip compartment here all the way on the left, where I currently have my Apple Magic Mouse, and that fits in there very comfortably. So just another very simple slip pocket. Like the versatility offered by all these compartments, very easy to get to. Behind those smaller slip compartments, there's just kind of one large catch-all compartment that you can use for something like a tablet. It's not padded or anything like that. Currently what I have in here is just my full-size Moleskine notebook, and that fits in there very easily. But as I mentioned, you can fit a tablet or a Kindle or maybe another kind of cable organizer. I probably could have tucked my GoRuck wire dock in here and it would have fit very comfortably. And then the last thing that it has here is just this little plastic loop where you could attach something like a keychain. Currently what I have here is just these kind of S carabiner type clips. I really love having these. They're very versatile. The bag doesn't have any sort of clip, so that's why I attached this, so it's very easy for me to attach my keys on there, or something like this multi-tool that I have here, which is the Gerber dime. And so moving on to the main compartment, as we looked at earlier, once you release the lock, you can kind of get in and start seeing the larger capacity that the bag offers. So I really like the flexibility that it has here to add just a little bit of extra stuff. And so I really like that at the top, it has this drawstring here to help keep this area tight and closed under the flap so that there's no risk of rain getting in. One thing that I did note with this drawstring is that it doesn't seem to completely close, which I thought was strange. So it's not like on the Burton Tinder Pack where you can draw this completely tight and have this sealed. So I do wish that I could close this just a little bit more. It does a good job of pulling the sides in under the flap, but it would have been nice to just have that extra bit of protection that being able to close this completely would have allowed. But before I go too far into the main compartment, I completely forget, there's actually a secret compartment located here on the flap, which you won't be able to get to unless you undo the flap here. So it's gonna be very well protected against just quick pickpockets that are trying to get into your bag. And the zipper is very easy to open. The pocket offers a nice amount of space. It goes pretty much the full length of the flap. And so it's really good for those flatter items that you might want to store, especially if you want to leave the majority of the capacity for the quick access at the top, because they do kind of share space. This is a great spot for something like your passport or wallet. Currently what I have in here is just my field notes notebook, just to kind of show the size. As you can see, there's plenty of leftover space here. So if you have something like a larger passport wallet, that'll fit in here. And now finally jumping into the main compartment, as you can see here, it's just kind of a large bucket on the inside, very similar to the Burton Tinder Pack. And currently what I have in here is my Beats Solo Wireless 2. And then I have my Able Carry Stash Pouch, which is just another small pouch that I've really enjoyed carrying with me. It just has some smaller accessories that didn't quite fit into the GoRuck wire dop that I still want to carry with me. Next up, I have my Kindle in here. I've been trying to force myself to read a little bit more in the new year, so excited to tackle some new books. Then I also have my textbook that I use for reference at work. As you can see, that's fairly thick and there's just so much leftover space here. It really showcases how much this bag can actually hold. Then I also have just a folder for my receipts and papers. And then the last item that I have in here is my Levitate portable standing desk. And that fits in there very easily as well. Tons of space offered here. As I mentioned earlier, the bag has a 22-liter capacity, but it just feels bigger to me. I mean, I really feel like I can fit a lot of stuff in here. And so if you're wondering if this can work for a quick weekend trip or something like that, what I have here is my larger double-sided packing cube, which should fit in here very comfortably. As you can see, with that wide opening, I can easily fit that in there. And then pushing that all the way in, there's still leftover space here at the top. So I could even fit something like my DOP kit and my Toms. So with all this in here, I would definitely be ready to go for a long weekend or maybe even a week trip if I wanted to be really minimal. So it's a little bit of a tighter fit with the flap, but with everything expanded, you can still latch it on very easily and tighten it down so that you don't have everything slipping out. Here you can see the bag at its complete fullest. And so deceptively large, even though the bag still looks pretty small while I'm actually wearing it. The bag also has an opening here on the back, another really well sealed zipper here, offering tons of protection that offers not only access to the laptop compartment, but also opens flat to allow you to pack easier. So opening this up here, the zipper comes all the way down and the bag opens flat. And the bag is now empty since we just went through all the items that I typically carry with me. But if I had wanted to, I could have loaded the packing cube and shoes through here just to kind of be able to see everything a little bit more easy. So here you get a nice clear look at the empty main compartment. But moving away from the main compartment for a second, I want to talk a little bit about the laptop compartment here, which is really nicely implemented. It has a good amount of padding all around. On the bottom, the compartment is really well padded. It's not quite elevated off the bottom of the ground, so when you place the bag on the floor, there's still going to be a little bit of contact, but the bottom is well padded enough that I'm not concerned about the laptop getting damaged. The laptop compartment has these nice elastic straps here to help keep your laptop in place. So if you open it flat and there's a little bit of an incline, it's going to prevent your laptop from sliding out and hitting the table or something like that. And so really easy to just kind of move those aside and get into the laptop compartment. And as you can see, there's a little bit of leftover space here. So if you have a 15-inch laptop, that should be able to fit in there pretty comfortably. The compartment also comes up a good amount. So if you have a wider device, it should be able to fit as well. Currently what I have in here is my 13-inch MacBook Pro. It's pretty well padded. As you can see, it's pretty thick. It's a little bit more flexible than I would like to see in a laptop compartment, and unfortunately it doesn't have any sort of felt lining on the inside. And overall, I do feel like it's going to keep my device protected as I'm walking around with it on my day-to-day. And so we've talked a lot about the bag as a daily bag or even as a bag to be used for quick trips, but one of the nice things is that it also includes a nice insert for your camera. So this is still meant to be somewhat of a camera backpack. And so the insert that is included with the bag is really well made. It definitely feels nice and padded and it's gonna help keep your device very well protected. I also like how well the insert seems to work as a separate accessory. So if you get to your destination and you just wanna walk around with your camera bag, the case offered here has a really nice strap system here which clips together to help keep the straps from flopping around, so you can carry it very easily there. Brevite also sells a detachable strap that you can attach to this to make it a shoulder bag. It's not included with this bag, but you could purchase that separately if you want to add a little bit more versatility to this bag here. But I really like how well this camera insert has been implemented. It has the ability to be accessed both from the top, so you can reach down and grab your gear very easily there, or when the bag is paired with the backpack, you can access it from the back and it opens up nice and flat here. All the zippers, continuing on with the same theme as the backpack, very well protected. So even if you're using this outside of the backpack, it definitely feels like it's gonna keep your gear safe. And so it has pretty straightforward kind of camera cube type features. We've seen these in the Verge case that the Boundary Supply Prima system has and in the camera cube from Wandered. So just a nice amount of padding all around, really solid sides, soft felt lining on the inside to help keep your device safe. And then it has two adjustable and removable dividers on the inside. So if you want to use this for lenses or for a drone and a camera, there's a lot of versatility in how you can pack things out here. Currently what I have in here is just random camera accessories that I typically carry with me. And then there's plenty of space here to hold my mirrorless Panasonic camera. On top of the fact that you can access it from the top, it also has this clip so that you can open it a little bit more widely so you can get into your gear a little bit more easily. It has the same kind of drawstring that the bag has to offer a little bit of extra protection. And so even though we're looking at this accessory separately outside of the bag now, it is actually meant to hook into the backpack to stay in place. It has these little nubs here which hook in to corresponding latch points here inside the bag. So placing the bag face down so that you have access to this wide opening here. It's very easy to attach it using the little attachment points here, so it just slides in very easily. It's not magnetized or anything, so it's just literally sliding it in, but it does a great job of keeping the compartment in place and just really makes it easy to just place the bag down, open it nice and wide, and you can get in to get your gear very quickly. And I also really like the fit of the cube in this bag. So one issue that we saw with the Verge case on the Boundary Supply bag was that there was a huge gap on the bottom when you were using the insert, which really sacrificed a lot of space from the main compartment. But as you can see here, it's really flush against the bottom of the bag. So I just like how thoughtfully designed everything was to really maximize the use of space in this main compartment. So really great job on the main compartment overall. Lots of versatility and space offered regardless of whether you're using with or without the camera case. And I love that such a versatile accessory was actually included with the price of the bag. And so to wrap up, I really enjoyed using the Brevite Roamer as my day-to-day bag for the past couple of weeks. The bag has some great features that make it awesome for daily use. I've been taking it to the office and for walking around the city. It's super lightweight, has a ton of great weather resistance, some really nice organization, and if you need to carry camera stuff, it also has some good features for that as well. And so you can purchase the Roamer on Brevite's site for about $209. So it's definitely not a cheap bag, but it is in line with other high quality camera type bags that we've looked at in the past. I was first introduced to Brevite after the video that I did for the Wandered Provoke, and that's still one of the best bags that I've reviewed on the channel. It's super durable, has tons of great features, especially if you're looking for a really great photography bag. And so that bag is offered at a few different price points. The 21-liter version, which we looked at on the channel and is the most comparable in size to this, starts at about $189, but you don't get a lot of the cool accessories at that price point. So if you want to add things like the camera cube and some of the straps that this bag already includes, you will probably get up above $200, so it will end up being very similar in price to this bag. Some other bags that we've looked at on the channel that might be worth comparing this to would be something like the Boundary Supply Prima system. That's also kind of a hybrid daily slash camera bag. It has a lot of modular components that allow you to add a camera, access it quickly, or you can take that out and use it to walk around with the little case that it comes with. And that was a really great bag. We definitely enjoyed testing that out here. That's also in this same price range as the Brevite Roamer coming in at around $200. And that's a really great deal in my opinion because it includes not only the removable insert for your camera, but it also has a sleeve to protect your tablet or a laptop, and it also includes a waist belt that works as a camera strap or for carrying a little bit of a heavier load. So a lot of different cool features offered on the Boundary Prima system. Another one of the popular camera slash daily bags that we've looked at on the channel is the Peak Design Everyday Backpack, and that was a little bit more expensive than this, coming in around $259. And that is definitely the type of bag that I think is more geared towards photography that also can work as a daily bag. So you can open both sides of that bag to get at your gear really quickly. The insides are very configurable to hold a lot of camera gear. So that's just a really popular camera bag that I've seen out in the wild a ton recently. And I definitely enjoyed using that. As far as for my purposes, I really enjoy this one a little bit more just because I think it just works better as a daily bag. It's just easier for me to organize everything the way that I need to. And I just didn't end up using a lot of the features that the Peak Design bag offered. And then another popular camera bag that we looked at on the channel was the Thule Aspect DSLR backpack. And so that is just probably the most pure camera backpack that we've looked at here on the channel. It also worked kind of well for daily use, but it really is made to be a very well-made and great looking camera bag. And so that bag works great if you have a lot of camera gear and you want just a lot of support, something that offers tons of padding for your camera stuff. It's really going to keep everything well protected. I definitely recommend checking that out. It's also a little bit more affordable if you have a tighter budget and you just want a really solid camera bag. That one comes in at about $130, $150. And then the last bag that I'll mention here, which isn't a camera bag at all, but it reminded me a little bit of this bag as I was using it, is the Burton Tinder Pack, which we talked about a little while back. And that is one of my favorite kind of versatile all-purpose bags that I've had. It's adjustable kind of like this one. It has a similar style of packing. It doesn't have quite as much as organization as this, and it doesn't have the same water-resistant materials that this bag has. But if you have a really tight budget and you want to spend under $100 for just a versatile daily bag, that's going to be a good option to check out. But with all that being said, I was really impressed with how well the Brevite Roamer worked for day-to-day use and for carrying some camera gear. So I definitely recommend you guys check them out. They also have some other great looking bags on the site. I haven't had a chance to test those out, but they seem to have some more camera focused bag. If you like the company and you like a lot of the materials that they're using, but you want something with just a little bit more focus towards the actual camera area. So I want to go ahead and thank the company again for sending the bag for me to test out. And I want to go ahead and thank you guys for the suggestion on checking this company out. It's been a great experience and I definitely look forward to more suggestions from you. So if you guys found this video useful, please go ahead and give us a like below. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos. And thank you guys so much.